Live from WOWT, this is our First Alert 6 Weather Day.
And good evening, everyone. Nick Weig here with you as we are dealing with a new round of strong to severe thunderstorms just beginning to make their way into the First Alert 6 viewing area, and that is why we are beginning our extended streaming coverage here for you as this first warning of the night has been issued. Let's go ahead and take you live to First Alert Radar right now, and there you see the warning that has just been issued. This is for portions of Antelope, Boone, Madison, and Platte counties until 9:15 this evening. Primary threats are 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1 1/4-inch hail. This is all radar indicated. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 9:15. Severe thunderstorm located along a line extending from 4 miles northeast of Greeley to 3 miles south of Primrose to 6 miles southwest of Belgrade, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. These storms in central Nebraska are certainly fast moving as they're making their way into our area, and so as a result, the National Weather Service has wasted no time issuing these warnings well in advance of the storms, as again they are moving rather quickly. As we take a look down at this line that has developed along with a cluster of thunderstorms across central Nebraska, just the latest round of severe weather that the state has seen today. You can see in the upper left portion of your screen 79 wind reports in Nebraska and Iowa over the last 24 hours, 2 hail reports, no tornado reports. That's the good news, at least. And so we do have this new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued for Antelope, Boone, Madison, and Platte County on the western side of the First Alert 6 viewing area until 9:15 this evening. You can see that scrolling at the bottom of your screen. You also see the storm reports from the last 3 hours scrolling at the top of your screen, and then the storm reports for the day, the total number in the upper left portion of your screen. So as this is beginning now to move into our area, let's go ahead and put this into a loop here, and you can kind of see how these storms have taken shape. I know it's moving a little quickly here over the last hour, but you can see just how quickly some of these storms out to our west have developed in the last hour or so. We do expect this development to continue over the next hour or two as we're getting closer to sunset. We are standing by to see what the National Weather Service, the Storm Prediction Center has to say about all this, as they have issued their last outlook for the day, and they have extended the enhanced risk for severe weather to the western half of the First Alert 6 viewing area, just east of the Omaha metro area. The Omaha metro area remains under a slight risk for severe weather this evening. Just getting an update from the Storm Prediction Center just a few minutes ago. Let's see here. Additional storm development is expected across Nebraska tonight. Further intensification of supercells and line segments is expected. So this may begin to shift into more of a strong wind threat, which, as you see by the counter in the upper left, it already has been a strong wind threat throughout the day. And so that appears to be continuing tonight as these storms that have also at least indicated some large hail have made their way across the state this afternoon and now into the evening hours. So hopefully we would like to see these storms kind of subside and just focus on the beneficial rain that they would bring. But right now that doesn't appear to be the case as these storms are now making their way into the First Alert 6 viewing area. Not all of these are severe. As you can see that cell along I-80 southeast of Grand Island. That is a strong thunderstorm to be sure. But right now at least there is no warning on that, as it's this northernmost line stretching east to west across central Nebraska. That is where we're seeing the bulk of the severe weather right now, and we're going to be monitoring this as it inches closer to our area over the next several hours. So again, the latest severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Madison, Platte, Antelope, and Boone counties until 9:15 this evening. Primary threats: 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half-dollar-sized hail, which I believe is 1 1/4 inches in diameter, so just slightly higher than the severe limit. This does include the areas of Cedar Rapids, Nebraska, Primrose, Albion, and St. Edward. Other locations in the path of these severe thunderstorms, and actually we may have just gotten an upgrade to this. We did. This is now a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, as they are now advising of the threat of 70-mile-per-hour winds. So the actual warning has not changed, but the severity of it has been upgraded to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. That's why you see the yellow there that's a little bit bolder than the thunderstorm warning to the southwest of it. At 8:33, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from 4 miles southwest of Spalding to 2 miles east of Primrose to 2 miles south of Belgrade, still moving to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. 70 mile per hour wind gusts and half-dollar sized hail are possible. Now, the reason they upgraded this severe thunderstorm warning to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, let me see if we can force that. There we go. And there is the new warning at the bottom of your screen for a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. The reason they've gone ahead and upgraded this is there was just a weather station that reported winds gusting to 62 miles per hour just northeast of Woolbach. So a 62 mile per hour wind gust was just recorded near Woolbach, and so that is what has prompted this upgrade to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Antelope, Boone, Madison, and Platte counties until 9:15 this evening. Again, these storms are moving very quickly to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. So let's see if we can get a bit of a tracker on this. And you can see how quickly these storms are moving. There you see some of the areas that are expected to be impacted. Albion around 9:11, Boone 9:13, Campground at 9:58, Newman Grove at 9:58, Gloucester at 10:13, Emmerich at 10:29, and Battle Creek just after 11 o'clock. It is actually trending that far out because of how far I drew it, but frankly, we kind of have to because the storm is moving so quickly. Again, severe thunderstorm warning continues until 9:15 for this storm, which again is moving awfully quickly to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. I know a lot of people obviously are asking about Omaha, the metro area. We do still have a risk for severe weather this evening. Actually, there you see we have a new tornado watch that has been put into effect for portions of the First Alert 6 viewing area. This does not include the Omaha metro area, but it is just northwest of the Omaha metro. Tornado watch now in effect until 3 o'clock this morning for several counties in the First Alert 6 viewing area, including portions of Blair, Fremont, Wahoo, Tacoma, Norfolk, and Columbus. You are now under a tornado watch until 3 o'clock this morning. As these showers and thunderstorms have rapidly intensified over the last couple of hours and are moving very quickly to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. So a tornado watch now in effect until 3 o'clock this morning for the counties shaded in red you see on your screen. Again, this does not, for now, include the Omaha metro area. This does not include the Lincoln metro area, but it does include areas around York, Columbus, Wahoo, Fremont, Blair, Tacoma, Norfolk, as these storms continue to push off to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. All right, let's go ahead and go back now live to First Alert Radar, and our main concern right now is with this considerable severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for portions of Antelope, Boone, Madison, and Platte County. I'm going to go ahead and take a look now that we're adding some concern for the winds in this. Let's go ahead and switch over to some of our velocity scans here. And unfortunately, we are quite a distance away from the radar. We're taking a look at a couple of different radar sites here to see if either can give us a better look. And it's not really indicating a whole lot. Some embedded, excuse me, that's not the right tool that I was looking for. Some of the winds embedded in this not really showing up on radar at this time, but a lot of that has to do with just how high up the radar beam is this far out. And so unfortunately, we may not be getting a very true reading on the scope of these storms. But again, some of the stronger wind gusts right now between Greeley and Spalding, Cedar Rapids area in Nebraska, some stronger wind gusts there as well as these strong thunderstorms continue to push through the area. Just a quick reminder before things get a little busier here tonight. Just want to point out that tornado watch is in effect for areas west and north of the Omaha Metro. This does not include the Omaha Metro, but a tornado watch now in effect until 3 o'clock this morning. And real quickly, this is the severe weather risk for tomorrow. This is something we'll be keeping an eye out for, as well as we could see another round fire up tomorrow as well. But for right now, the focus is on the Antelope, Boone, Madison, and Platte County area, where a considerable severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect at this time. I want to go out and take a closer look at the wider view here. And you can see over the last hour, these thunderstorms have just developed over the last 30 minutes or so, the storms that have prompted this new warning, as a line has essentially exploded across central Nebraska, kind of taking the energy away from the storms you see west of York right now. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't re-intensify and cause problems as they continue to push to the east. And so we could catch some showers and thunderstorms in the metro area, but right now there is no watches or warnings in effect for the metro area. But just to our north and west, we have that tornado watch now in effect until 3 o'clock this morning. All right, let's go back now to live first alert radar as we're going to see if we got any new information from the National Weather Service. You can see how quickly this storm is moving. Again, off to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. Again, I know a lot of people are asking about the metro area. We do still face a slight risk for strong to severe thunderstorms tonight, but at this time, there are no watches and no warnings in effect for the metro area. But just northwest of the metro area, we do have a tornado watch now in effect until 3 o'clock this morning. So just a few minutes ago, the National Weather Service said that they are watching the storms entering the Boone County area, showing some anticyclonic rotation aloft. Now that's clockwise rotation, which is what we don't normally see, but it does occasionally happen. Now, while it might not sound like it, this is a good sign for limited tornado potential in the near future. Very high likelihood of severe wind, though, and probably a bit of hail in there as well. So they're still monitoring the potential of some tornadic activity in these storms. And this must be what they're talking about here. It's not very strong on radar, but I believe this is what they're talking about. So normally we have what we call cyclonic rotation. The rotation of all tornadoes in the northern hemisphere generally go counterclockwise, just like a low pressure system rotates. But there is a very small percentage that actually are managed to spin clockwise or anticyclonic, and that is what we're apparently seeing. I believe they're talking about the Cedar Rapids area right now. And so instead of clockwise, they're seeing, or instead of counterclockwise, they're actually seeing clockwise rotation in this storm. In a couple of areas, and so that is what they're talking about right now. That is very unusual, but it does happen from time to time, and so certainly a unique situation. But right now, the Weather Service says all of that is happening well above the surface, and that is why there is no tornado warning issued. But there is still a tornado watch in effect until 3 o'clock this morning, so there is still a potential there that we could see some tornadoes over the next, I guess that's 6 hours or so before that tornado watch is scheduled to expire. Austin over on YouTube. Oh, that is not the right one. I apologize. Austin over on YouTube asks, could the watch include the metro at some point? It's always possible that they could extend it, and they always advise you that if you're in or near a watch to stay weather aware. But again, right now, the metro area is not under a tornado watch. There are still some showers and thunderstorms out there that could push through the area. But again, right now, the area is not under a watch, just under a slight risk for severe weather. So there is still that slight risk of some isolated severe thunderstorms in the metro area tonight. As we throw this back into motion, you can see some of those southern storms could come into the metro depending on their ultimate direction tonight. They could start shifting more easterly, and that could put them in the metro area. But right now, they're not severe. And it seems like what we're seeing across central Nebraska is kind of taking over right now, and that is where the bulk of the severe weather is happening, is along this line and north. So that is what we are keeping an eye on right now as the storm system pushes through. Leslie over on Facebook asks, husband is on the road, first time going through a storm like this. He's currently stopped at Aurora. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. These storms, at least for now, are moving rather quickly, and so hopefully wherever he stopped, the storms will come through quickly, and then he can get back on his way. But right now, yeah, it's certainly not the worst idea. We do have that considerable severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for portions of Antelope, Boone, Madison, and Platte until 9:15. So about, as you see there at the bottom left of your screen, about another 28 and a half minutes or so until that warning expires. I do like to put everyone's some of the questions up on the screen, but that does not appear to be working for some reason, and I don't know why. Let me see if I can fix that. No, it doesn't want to cooperate with us tonight for some reason. So I will just keep an eye on those and call those out as I see them later this evening. But yeah, there is still the threat for an isolated severe thunderstorm tonight in the metro area, but we are not under the tornado watch that was just issued a few minutes ago until 3 o'clock this morning. That's staying to our west and north. But we do like to provide this extended coverage. Right now we're on our 24/7 streaming weather channel on our website. We're also coming to you on our 24/7 news channel right now until news time at 10 o'clock. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. You name it, we're there, as we want to provide you with all the coverage that you need if you're in the path of these storms, or if you're not, that you at least know what's going on and you can plan accordingly. So there you see some of the severe weather, or the storm reports that have come in so far at the top of your screen. Now 90 wind reports across Nebraska and Iowa today. The latest about 62 or 63 miles per hour, which has prompted this considerable severe thunderstorm warning that you see at the bottom of your screen. Let's go ahead and go back out live to First Alert Radar. We'll start out here wide, and we'll show you the line of storms that we're keeping an eye on right now. There you see these strong thunderstorms over in the Grand Island to York area. None of these are severe at this time, but certainly could be producing some brief heavy downpours, some strong wind gusts, and some vivid lightning. Right now, the main concern is with this storm as we're switching radar sites as we kind of bounce around. A little bit distant from the beam, but there you see, if we're going to roll this back and see what's going on with this, it does appear to be weakening. It may be getting into some more stable air. Hopefully that trend continues, because if we look at the kind of rock the radar back and forth here, we're seeing these storms out ahead of it that are getting a little too far north, that are not really holding their energy together. And so we'll have to see if that trend continues. That would certainly be good news, but the threat does still remain as we head into the late evening and overnight hours for additional severe thunderstorms across the area. Again, we're keeping an eye out on the National Weather Service as well as the Storm Prediction Center. They were monitoring the tornado threat this evening. Right now, no tornadoes confirmed in Nebraska or Iowa today, but the threat does exist, and we could see additional development, additional severe thunderstorms as we continue to move through the evening and overnight hours. Now, right now, as we said, these storms are moving very quickly to the northeast at 50 miles per hour, and we may have to keep an eye out further to the south towards York and Columbus as these storms make their way through, if these can reach severe limits. We haven't talked about hail quite yet, so let's take a look at what we've got on the hail scanners right now. Nothing of immediate concern in our area. You see those heavier hail cores well to the west of the First Alert 6 viewing area. And if we rock this back, well, it's not going to work with us. So, nope, that's not going to work. All right, so let's go back out wider here so you can see those watches and warnings. These storms further to the south are kind of moving a little bit more easterly, and so that could bring showers and thunderstorms into the metro area later tonight if they can hold together. But again, right now, still below severe limits, and we'll just have to see as things continue to ramp up here over the next couple of hours. But again, as you see, that tornado watch does remain in effect until 3 o'clock this morning as we continue to move through the evening and overnight hours. I know a lot of you are asking about the Omaha metro area as well as Fremont. Yes, Fremont is under a tornado watch. The Omaha metro area is not under a tornado watch. That's kind of the cutoff right now in our area, and so we're going to continue to monitor that. But all areas of the First Alert 6 viewing area, including the Omaha metro area, are under a slight risk for severe weather. So right now, there is still a potential for strong to severe thunderstorms in the metro area later tonight. But the greatest threat, according to the Storm Prediction Center, exists in the counties shaded in red, where that tornado watch will be in effect at least until 3, or scheduled to last until 3 o'clock Wednesday morning. Got to remember what day it is. Overnight tonight, that tornado watch will remain in effect as they are continuing to monitor the potential for additional development. We will have to see how this trends over the next hour or so, but right now we are monitoring that considerable severe thunderstorm warning for Antelope, Boone, Madison, and Platte counties. And it looks like they have just downgraded that severe thunderstorm warning. So there's some good news. We noticed that weakening on radar, and it appears they have downgraded this to just a general severe thunderstorm warning for the ongoing, let's switch back to live radar here, for the ongoing threat of some strong wind gusts and some large hail. Let's see what they are saying now. The general severe thunderstorm warning now will remain in effect until 9:15. Severe thunderstorms located along a line extending from 7 miles northeast of Spalding to 5 miles northwest of Albion to 3 miles west of St. Edward, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. So the storm has slowed down considerably. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and nickel-sized hail are the primary threats. But again, that considerable severe thunderstorm warning has been downgraded to a general severe thunderstorm warning until 9:15 this evening. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining us for our First Alert 6 coverage of this severe weather threat across the viewing area. A tornado watch remains in effect for areas west and north of Omaha until 3 o'clock this morning. The Omaha and Lincoln metro areas are not in a tornado watch until 3 o'clock this morning. The Omaha and Lincoln metro areas are not in that watch. We'll go ahead and put that here on your screen. As you can see here, that watch extends, as we said, west and north of the Lincoln and Omaha metro areas. And we have a cluster of strong to severe thunderstorms stretching all the way back towards the north of the North Platte area. And you can kind of see this line filling it from north of North Platte over towards Norfolk. And we've had a smattering of severe thunderstorm warnings all along that. But as these storms continue to push off to the north, they generally weaken. And so we're going to have to monitor that trend, monitor the trend with the storms further to the south over by York. The storms by York and Columbus are not severe right now. But again, we'll be monitoring those for any type of intensification or hopefully weakening. But nonetheless, that tornado watch for now remains in effect until 3 o'clock, and we have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of Antelope, Boone, Madison, and Platte counties until 9:15. All right, back now to live First Alert radar. We're going to go ahead and zoom back in on this complex of storms over here. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with you here in just a few minutes as we continue to monitor the potential for additional severe weather across the area this evening. So don't go away. We'll be back with much more in just a moment.
Live from WOWT, this is a First Alert 6 weather day.
And good evening, everyone. Nick Weig here with you as we're continuing to monitor the latest reports coming in as a severe thunderstorm warning does continue for Antelope, Boone, Madison, and Platte counties as we've just crossed the 9 o'clock hour. This warning does remain in effect until 9:15 this evening, although radar has shown considerable weakening in that storm. But there is still the potential for some gusty winds as well as some large hail. Did just get a report from the Albion Airport just north of town of a 63 mile per hour wind gust, that coming from the National Weather Service. So 63 mile per hour wind gust reported at the Albion Airport just north of town. That's the latest report into the National Weather Service. So we've seen that wind report total at the upper left portion of your screen jump now to 95 as we continue to get some significant severe wind reports, most of them just west of our viewing area over in the Kearney area, where we've seen several wind gusts reported of 70 to 80 miles per hour in that area. Right now, other than that report and a previous wind gust, I believe, of 62 miles per hour from a personal weather station, that storm does appear to be weakening, but still capable of producing some strong winds and some large hail. And we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now in effect that we do need to tell you about. There you see it scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for most of Polk and York counties until 9:45 this evening. This was that thunderstorm that we were keeping an eye on that had been showing signs of intensifying as it was exiting the Grand Island area. Severe thunderstorm warning for York and Polk counties until 9:45. The severe thunderstorm was located along a line extending from near Silver Creek to 6 miles west of Benedict to near Henderson, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. 60 mile per hour wind gusts are the primary threat with this storm. So a severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for portions of York and Polk County until 9:45. This does include the areas of York, Stromsburg, Henderson, Osceola, Shelby, Polk, Bradshaw, Waco, Benedict, Gresham, and Thayer. This also includes Interstate 80 between mile markers 341 and 365. So the new severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Polk and York counties until 9:45. We also do still have in effect the severe thunderstorm warning until 9:15 for portions of Madison, Platte, Antelope, and Boone counties, again until 9:15. This storm also moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. It is weakened considerably, but does have a history of producing wind gusts upwards of 63 miles per hour, the last report we received from the National Weather Service. So those are the two warnings in effect for our area. Let's zoom out a bit and show you kind of the bigger picture here. And you can see what's going on out to the west tonight as a large line of severe thunderstorms have been pushing through much of central Nebraska during the evening. And that has continued on. It seems as though the storms that have moved further to the north have not managed to maintain their intensity, but obviously there's still some concern for these storms further to the south, and this could impact areas, if they do hold their intensity over the next hour or two, could impact portions of Wahoo and Fremont. We could see some showers and thunderstorms here in the Omaha metro area, but at this time, there is no watch in effect for the metro area, just an isolated risk for a strong to severe thunderstorm. So it's good to keep weather aware. The potential is still there, but right now the primary threat for severe weather is just to the north and west of the Omaha metro area. All right, let's go back now live to First Alert Radar. There you see our two warnings on the westernmost portion of the First Alert 6 viewing area. We'll go ahead and zoom in on those. And you can see this cluster that has developed over the last hour or so. And we were talking about the storms near York earlier, and as they're getting closer to the radar scan here, obviously some concern with the potential for some strong wind gusts. They don't look all that impressive on radar, but still capable of producing some significant wind gusts. Let's go ahead and take a look. Certainly seeing some gusty winds in there. And that certainly, especially around the Osceola area, northwest of York, that's where we're seeing some of the stronger wind gusts right now. And there you see the lightning, very prolific lightning in these storms as well as they continue to push off to the northeast now at 35 miles per hour. That is the primary concern tonight. Here, let's zoom out again, give you a better look at the bigger picture. There you see the storms to the north. We're starting to see the number of severe thunderstorm warnings begin to subside a little bit as these storms are moving further to the north. And then we're monitoring what these storms to the west of the Wahoo and Fremont areas in York may do. And now moving into that area, we may get a better idea from spotters as to what's going on underneath the clouds. No new updates from the National Weather Service since this warning was issued. Let's see if we can get... There you see some of the wind reports from earlier. Just one wind report from this a short time ago. But this storm does have a lengthy history of producing some very strong, damaging winds, especially south of the Grand Island area earlier tonight. I want to take a look at... let's see here. We may have lost our velocity scan here. Let me see if I can get it back. May have just briefly lost the connection here. Let me see. There we go. Okay, we're going to go ahead and zoom in on this severe thunderstorm warning and see what we can find here in terms of any severe winds embedded in this. We're kind of bouncing in between radar sites here, but this is a look at the Omaha radar right now. We are getting some indications aloft of winds upwards of 50 to 60 miles per hour, especially along the leading edge. We're getting some reports of some 63 mile per hour wind gusts. That would, judging by where the radar is reading it, these winds are moving in from the east to the west. So these would be inflow winds, which would suggest that this storm is tapping into some energy and could continue to grow stronger as it pushes more off to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. But again, right now, they don't look that impressive on radar, but they do have a history of producing strong, damaging winds. The last report, we'll go ahead and pop that up on your screen here, came in from Hampton at 8:45, so just about 23 minutes ago, of a 63 mile per hour wind gust. And that is largely what has prompted this severe thunderstorm warning to be issued. There's really no concern for large hail at this time, but portions of this thunderstorm could produce some strong, damaging winds capable of toppling trees and throwing things around in your yard. So that is the primary concern right now. We do still have, for the time being, a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Antelope, Boone, and Platte counties. That severe thunderstorm warning, there were at least 2 strong wind reports since that was issued. I believe 63 miles per hour at the Albion Airport was one of those reports. But again, right now, that storm has weakened considerably since we last looked at it, and it appears to be continuing that trend. So we'll have to see if they're going to keep these warnings or extend these warnings after this particular one expires at 9:15. Right now, let's go back down to the Osceola and York areas. Just getting an update from the National Weather Service that some smaller cells in Madison, Stanton, and Cumming counties are all rotating aloft. They don't look especially impressive, but definitely some rotation, particularly the storm near Tilden. So let's take a look at that. So these are not warned storms. These are out ahead of the severe thunderstorm warned storm, but there are some pockets where the Weather Service is keeping an eye out on some rotation out there. Somewhat weak and certainly high up in the clouds, as this is pretty far from the radar site, but raising a little bit of concern that there is some rotation in an area that's favorable for producing rotation. You can see a couple of areas of potential rotation in this storm right here, and a broader one, as the Weather Service was talking about, right here over Tilden. Now, this is not a warned storm, just something that the National Weather Service is monitoring. This rotation, based on the distance from the beam, is far from the surface, so there's no real indication that this is about to produce a tornado, but certainly a trend that they're going to continue to follow, as these storms may not look all that impressive on radar or have been weakening, but are still capable of producing some strong gusty winds as they continue to push off to the northeast here at about 35 miles per hour. So that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of Madison, Platte, Antelope, and Boone counties is set to expire now in just about 2.5 minutes. And we should see that severe thunderstorm warning expire. No indication from the National Weather Service what they plan to do with it. They have seen some broad rotation in some of these storms, especially the storms just north of the severe thunderstorm warned system, up west of the Norfolk area. But so far, nothing that has led them to believe that a tornado is imminent in that area. Just some conditions conducive for some rotation aloft. Doesn't mean that it will cause any problems at the surface. So those are the two severe thunderstorm warnings that continue for our portion of Nebraska. You can see the additional severe thunderstorm warnings out to the west, right along this corridor from west of Norfolk over towards Mullen, east of Ashby. Some of these have begun to weaken. Others remain capable of producing primarily strong wind. I know these are in some pretty rural areas, but so far the wind reports have been dominating for the last 24 hours here in Nebraska, as these storms have pushed their way to the northeast now. Earlier racing at about 50 miles per hour, now beginning to slow down a bit, and we will have to see where they trend as they continue to push off to the northeast, and could be impacting areas west and north of the Omaha metro area. Now, it still looks like Omaha could see some showers and thunderstorms, could see a strong thunderstorm. There's still a chance that there could be some isolated pockets of severe weather, but the metro area for now is not under a tornado watch. That watch is in effect for areas north and west of the metro area. There you see that watch box that was put into place just about a half hour ago, as those storms continue to push off to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Weather Service will be closely monitoring this, and we are standing by for an update as the severe thunderstorm warning, as we go back to live well, and there you have an answer. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now in effect. This is an extension of the severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued about 15 minutes ago. Let's get the information up on your screen here. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for portions of Butler, Colfax, Platte, and Seward counties until 10:15 this evening. This includes communities such as David City, portions of David City, Ulysses, Utica, and Schuyler. Again, the severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 10:15 for portions of Colfax, Platte, Seward, Butler, and Saunders County as well. Severe thunderstorm was located along a line extending from 4 miles southeast of Duncan to 3 miles south of Shelby to 2 miles northeast of Waco, moving to the northeast now at just 30 miles per hour. Penny-sized hail, which is not severe, of course, and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts remain possible with this new severe thunderstorm warning. So there you see it at the bottom of your screen. The Weather Service going ahead and issuing a pretty extensive warning here for the next hour until 10:15. The severe thunderstorm is expected to be near Rising City and Surprise around 9:20, Bellwood, Ulysses, and Richland around 9:30 this evening. The National Weather Service just seconds ago telling us that they expect widespread gusts of 40 miles per hour, which are not severe. However, gusts 60 to 65 miles per hour remain possible in this warned area. Some of the strongest winds are approaching the Rising Sun area now. So if you're in the greater Rising Sun area, this is the time that you need to get indoors and get everything secured and seek shelter as a rather potent severe thunderstorm is moving your way. There you see Rising City as well as Shelby in the path of this. I'm going to switch over to the wind and see if we can find anything on radar. We have seen some indications of some strong wind gusts. There you see, yeah, there is the stronger wind gust right there. Getting some indications of 67, 65, 70 miles per hour. Again, this is aloft. This does not mean those winds are reaching the surface. But those are some pretty clear indications of some embedded strong wind gusts in this storm system as they continue to push off now to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. So again, these are the winds aloft, thousands of feet up in the atmosphere, but it could be an indicator that these winds could reach the surface and could reach anywhere from 60 to 65 miles per hour as we're seeing some of the stronger gusts now approaching the Shelby area as we speak and just about to move into the Rising City area as it crosses into this new severe thunderstorm warning that will remain in effect until 10:15 this evening. All right, let's zoom back out here, and you can see these clusters, these pockets of embedded wind gusts now being detected by the radar. So we're on the velocity scan right now, and you see a pocket here. You see a pocket here. You see a pocket here. Another one here, another one here, and another one here. These are these little pockets of embedded wind gusts that are approaching 60 to 70 miles per hour, at least according to radar. And so there is a potential of some wind gusts in excess of 62 miles per hour in that portion of this storm. Now, if we switch back to reflectivity and precipitation, it doesn't look all that potent. In fact, some of the areas where we're seeing those strong wind gusts really aren't showing a lot of heavy activity. It's actually behind that. And right now, those winds appear to be moving away from the radar, or no, towards the radar, I should say, excuse me. And so we'll have to see if that trend continues, but certainly some intense wind gusts. The radar not really doing a good job of showing us where the most intense portions of the storm are right now. So let's go back to the velocity scans here. I just want to take a look at some of the other scans and see if we can really make out anything else. And right now we really can't. Just these pockets of intense wind gusts in just these little sectors. There you see the brighter greens is where we're getting some of the higher wind gusts estimated by radar. And again, these are winds being detected aloft, not necessarily reaching the ground, but there you see Gresham approaching Rising City now, 67 to 60 miles per hour, some 64. I think earlier we had a 70 mile per hour wind gust, 68 there between Osceola and Rising City. And so some significant wind gusts that have developed as these storms continue to push off to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. go back to live radar now. We do not have... Checking to see if there's any updates from the National Weather Service. There are not. So this storm is just getting into the newly warned area. That, again, will remain in effect until 10:15. Radar is indicating winds anywhere from 60 to 65 miles per hour possible, especially in the Osceola area as well as the Rising Sun area. And really be curious to see if there's going to be any ground truth to this. We continue to see the wind count increases. This has been primarily a wind event for the day here in Nebraska. Still seeing wind gusts over the last 3 hours, scrolling there at the top of your screen, upwards of 70 to 75 miles per hour west of the First Alert 6 area in central Nebraska. But we have received some reports from these storms in our area of 62, 63 miles per hour, which has prompted these severe thunderstorm warnings. Now, if we back out for a second, you can see where we had that severe thunderstorm warning near the Norfolk area or southwest of that. That's all been allowed to expire. Still some gusty winds possible with those storms, but the Weather Service feels confident enough that these storms have weakened and for now are no longer a threat of producing severe weather. So the main concern right now shifts down further to the south from the I-80 corridor up towards Osceola, Columbus, and Schuyler as these storms continue to push off to the northeast. They don't look all that impressive on radar, but radar really picking up some intense wind gusts, and we have received some confirmation of gusts upwards of 62 miles per hour from these storms. So that is why, even though they may not look like your traditional severe thunderstorm on radar, we have these severe thunderstorm warnings in effect now for Polk and York counties until 9:45, and then the new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for portions of Colfax, Platte, Seward, Butler, and Saunders County until 10:15 this evening. Again, all that information running on the bottom of your screen. We're scrolling the storm reports on the top of your screen as these storms continue to make their way into the First Alert 6 viewing area. We'll go ahead and push off here to the east a little bit, and you can see that these are in line, that they could be impacting if they can hold their intensity. North Bend, Wahoo, Fremont could impact the Elkhorn area, but again, I want to stress that there is no tornado watch in effect for the Omaha metro area, but just west, just north of the metro area, we do have that tornado watch. And we can see strong thunderstorms outside of that watch area, so it's good to stay weather aware. We would like to see these storms move through the area a little more quickly, but they have slowed down to between 30 and 35 miles per hour in the last hour, and so we will continue to monitor these storms as they push off to the north and east. Robert over on YouTube saying the humidity in Omaha was crazy today. Yeah, I can vouch for that. I was unfortunately out mowing much of the day, and it certainly did not feel pleasant. Even in the shade, it did not feel terribly pleasant out there, as it was certainly a muggy day out there. Certainly, there's places that could really use the moisture, but in the dirt, not in the atmosphere. That does no good aloft. So. There you see we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for Pierce County. I believe that is way up here. So they've gone ahead and issued a new severe. This is actually not from the National Weather Service in Omaha, I believe. So this is now out of their area. Or no, this is Omaha, excuse me. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Pierce County until 10 o'clock. This is just outside of the First Alert 6 viewing area. But if you're joining us from that area, there is a severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Pierce County until 10 o'clock. A severe thunderstorm is located 10 miles northeast of Tilden or 14 miles east of Nellie and moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Again, the primary threats, 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail or 1 inch in diameter. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at that right now, because again, this is another one of those storms that hasn't looked all that impressive on radar. It is quite a ways away from the radar site, so that is also causing some problems with determining what's going on. But still seeing some very disorganized rotation, no significant indication of strong winds. But obviously there's enough there that because we're still seeing these pockets of strong wind gusts in these storms, the Weather Service has opted to go ahead with that severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go ahead and back out and take a look at a wider view here of First Alert radar. You can see that cell that has prompted the new severe thunderstorm warning just under the timestamp, pushing out of our area at 40 miles per hour, moving to the north-northeast in reality. And there you see off in central Nebraska, another large severe thunderstorm warning issued, that for Rock, Loup, Garfield, Holt, and Wheeler counties until 10:15. Primary threats, 60-mile-an-hour winds and small hail. So let's go back now to our primary severe thunderstorm warning, which is in effect for our area here. This is the severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for portions of Colfax, Platte, Seward, Butler, and Saunders County until 10:15 this evening. Primary threat with this is going to be the potential for strong damaging wind gusts as the storm moves off to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. Dawn on YouTube says that she's hearing thunder in Seward. Yeah, these have certainly been prolific lightning producers. Let me go ahead and put the lightning detector on there, and you can see just how much. Obviously, the sound of thunder can travel a great distance. You know what they say, 5 seconds for every mile. But certainly a lot of intense lightning just in this one storm. If we go ahead and take a look at this, and there you see 72 strikes within the last 15 minutes or so. And so certainly a lot of energy still embedded in these storms. If not producing severe weather as they pass over, certainly producing some pretty vivid lightning as well. All right, let's go ahead and back out here, and we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at this loop here. And you can see kind of the general formation of these storms. We had this line develop from west to east across central Nebraska, prompting this new tornado watch to be issued for portions of our area until 3 o'clock this morning. Those storms are continuing to push off to the north and east, continuing to produce primarily a strong wind threat. And now we have this new cluster of storms stretching from Columbus down to York that have prompted a new severe thunderstorm warning. So again, here is that tornado watch that remains in effect until 3 o'clock this morning. Again, this does not include the Omaha metro area, but there does remain the potential for some isolated strong to severe thunderstorms tonight as these storms pass at least near, if not through, the metro area. If we go back now live to First Alert Radar, there you see that new warning, or latest warning, I should say, that has been issued. We're going to go ahead and zoom in on that area here for you as we're continuing to watch this trend of rather unimpressive looking storms on radar as far as reflectivity is concerned. But when we take a look at the velocity on these, we're seeing a kind of a big old glob now. We saw isolated pockets of strong wind gusts. Now we're seeing this larger area. And not getting as strong a winds as we saw earlier, but again, these are all aloft. And what is happening on the ground is what's important. And this storm does have a history of producing winds upwards of 60, near 65 miles per hour. Again, if you're just joining us, looks like Jackie over on Facebook. Thanks for the report, Jackie. Pea-sized hail in Shelby. Pea-sized hail in Shelby. Fortunately, that is too small to produce any damage, so that's the good news, but hopefully you weren't caught outside in it. Zach on Facebook, about 10 minutes ago, very intense lightning to the south of Platte County. Yeah, we have certainly seen a lot of prolific lightning in these storms tonight. And, you know, if you're one of those people that can't sleep through thunderstorms, it may be a late night for you. Hopefully we can get these storms through here rather quickly. We would obviously prefer that, but right now it appears that the primary threat we're going to be dealing with over the next several hours in parts of the First Alert 6 viewing area is potential for strong wind gusts and maybe some isolated large hail, but it appears right now that the main threat we're going to be dealing with these storms is going to be that stronger wind gusts embedded in these what look like general thunderstorms on radar. But again, when we switch over to velocity, you can see these areas of very strong winds right here, the brighter greens A very strong indicator of some intense wind gusts in that area. All right, let's check with the National Weather Service. No update from the National Weather Service since these warnings were issued. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning for Butler, Colfax, Platte, Saunders, and Seward counties remains in effect until 10:15, so about just under 45 minutes. But we do see this moving rather briskly to the northeast, officially at 30 to 35 miles per hour as it's approaching the David City area. So if you're in the David City area, if you haven't noticed the winds picking up already, you're going to pretty soon, as these stronger wind gusts are now making their way into your area. All right, let's see if we can track down. If we can track down any of the cameras in that area. Okay, let's see if we can get this camera up and running for you. Okay, we do have a camera south of David City where these stronger winds are beginning to push in. I'm going to try and get this up on the Nebraska Department of Transportation camera. So bear with me as I'm working with this. This takes a lot of clicks sometimes. There you see the wind gusts. Again, this is near David City. This is courtesy of the Nebraska Department of Transportation. I'll get you an official location here in just a moment. This is the Highway 15 and 92 intersection just south of David City. So let me see if I can get... There we go. Okay, I'm going to try and get this. There we go. Get this in a split box for you. This is near David City. I'm going to zoom the radar in so you can get a better look at this. So this is the area that we're looking at. There you see David City, Garrison, and Brainerd. And right now you're looking at a camera right around here where we're getting some pretty... I don't know if that is an anomaly or what just happened on the radar there. But getting some pretty good wind gusts in that area. So I want to keep an eye on this camera here for as long as we can, as getting some very interesting scans now on the radar. Getting some much more intense winds now being detected by radar over 70 miles per hour right where this camera is. So we're gonna stay on this camera here for a little bit and see what we can see. Again, this is the Highway 15 and Highway 92 intersection just south of David City, just east of Garrison, west of Brainerd. Camera is located right about here where some of those intense winds are being detected by radar. You can see the sheets of rain blowing in the wind right now. and all of that lightning as well. So we're going to go ahead and keep this on the screen and keep an eye out on what we see here. But again, we're briefly getting some indications of some very intense winds, but that may have just been an anomaly. But some of the other scans here have indicated some wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour are possible. I want to stress possible because the radar can only detect the winds aloft. So I want to take the warning off here. And you can see some of the wind gusts that radar is detecting aloft, anywhere between 55 and 67, 77 miles an hour in this storm. And so that is the concern. That is right where this camera is right now, just south of David City at the intersection of highways 15 and 92. So we're going to leave this camera image up. You can see the intense lightning continuing there. Certainly some intense wind. And fortunately, with these highway intersections, not a lot of cameras in these areas, but fortunately with these highway intersections, you can really get a feel at what's going on because they generally do have street lights. And that is why we've got such a great view of this, as this is now right over the David City area. This is just south of David City. Radar detecting some pretty intense winds aloft, and we're certainly seeing that in those sheets of rain you see. Unfortunately, these cameras don't have audio. These are traffic cameras. They're just there to monitor the traffic at key points across the state of Nebraska, and so generally not used to track weather. Whoops, we may have lost the camera. Let's see if it comes back. We're going to hold on this for just a second and see if we can't get it back. It's not uncommon to lose connection to these cameras when powerful storms move through, but doesn't look like it's coming back in the near term. It's trying, but let's go ahead and we'll take the radar full here. This was the area that we were watching, and that camera may have been knocked out. It was pointed to the southwest. We saw the winds moving right to left or towards the radar essentially. And there you see, looks like we have an update on that warning to the west of this area. I'm going to get those back on the screen here. We're going to see what new information the Weather Service may have. No new info on this one, just checking. Just advising there was a pretty good wind signature across southern Butler County, but no reports yet. Still waiting. We do not have that camera back from near the David City area. I'm sorry. Let me get that graphic off the screen there. As that camera now is down, we'll see if we can get it back. But you can see the intense wind gusts there. The camera was actually pointed to the southwest. You could see the winds kind of moving towards the radar, and it looks like we just got the camera back. And hopefully things there are beginning to calm down. But you can see as it's as the lightning froze the camera there for just a moment, things are certainly beginning to calm down, at least to the southwest of this camera, as the bulk of those gusty winds have apparently passed by the intersection of highways 15 and 92 south of David City. Still seeing some strong gusts on radar. So we'll continue to monitor this image, but it seems that traffic is moving along okay, and every time we get a strong lightning flash or a close lightning flash, there you see we lose the image briefly, but it's back up, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it up because this is the best view we've got right now. So those winds are moving essentially to the northeast, so these are moving outward from the center of the storm. And that would certainly suggest that the potential for tornadoes is beginning to subside as we're seeing what we call outflow winds rather than inflow winds on the leading edge of these storms. Now, what that means for the hours ahead remains to be seen, but for right now, if you're underneath one of these storms, it doesn't matter which direction the winds are blowing, they're just strong. And so hopefully these have passed over largely rural areas and we won't get any reports of any significant damage from these storms. But there again, a live picture from the Nebraska Department of Transportation camera at the intersection of highways 15 and 92 south of David City, where a severe thunderstorm warning does remain in effect until 10:15 this evening. Have been getting some pretty strong indications of winds, as you see there on the right side of your screen, where we have been getting radar indicated wind reports upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour or higher. But again, those are the winds aloft. That doesn't mean when the radar's detecting 60 to 70 mile per hour winds that they're in fact happening at the surface. And we would like to see those stay aloft and not cause any problems. But the potential is there, and so that is why the severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. Hopefully things beginning to ease off there near David City. No other cameras in the immediate area that we can keep an eye on at this time. But it at least gives you somewhat of a look inside the storms as they continue to push further into the First Alert 6 viewing area. No new updates from the National Weather Service at the moment, but we continue to monitor our chat with them as well as any potential updates from the Storm Prediction Center as well, as they're kind of the Storm Prediction Center, if you don't know, out of Norman, Oklahoma, they kind of monitor the big pictures. So when you see something like this, the severe weather risk, the slight, moderate, enhanced, etc. This comes from the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. They draw these up several times a day, not just for today, but for the next 8 days. And so they are a great resource. And so they look at the bigger picture. They don't focus on the warnings. They focus on the risks. They focus on the watches. And they focus on what's called the mesoscale discussions. And that's kind of what comes in between the risk area and the watch, and it gives us an indication of what they expect to happen over the next several hours. So we may see an update from them as these are inching more towards the eastern part of the watch area. There you see, whoops, didn't want to do that. There you see the warnings that are still in effect for our area. Butler, Colfax, York as well. Severe thunderstorm warnings remain in effect. Polk and York County, your warning is set to expire, as you see at the bottom of your screen, in just about 2 minutes. As those storms have weakened considerably and appear to have sort of split off a little bit here. Just weakened between these two cells. And so the David City cell, which is where that live picture is right now, that is our primary concern as that continues to push deeper into the First Alert 6 viewing area. And we just lost a radar image, so let's take this moment to go back to velocity scans. And there you see what we've been talking about. I'll go back to radar here, and we're going to do this a little differently. So there you see the strongest winds appear to have now pushed off to the east of David City. It certainly can verify that here on the radar scan, or excuse me, on the live picture you see from Highway 15 and 92 interchange south of David City, that the strongest winds appear to have moved off a little bit here. But Abbey, Brainerd right now under the gun. Whoops. And right now still getting wind gusts aloft, well over 60 miles per hour in places. That's just a pixel detecting 113, so that may just be an anomaly there. But if you're in the Linwood area, Octavia, Bruno, Brainerd, it's probably blowing pretty good right now. Bruno, you've got just minutes. And then still not out of the woods yet in Schuyler, but Linwood, next in line for these strong winds, especially between Octavia and Bruno. I'm just going to double check and make sure we don't have any cameras in those areas. Let me double check here. I don't believe we do, but it's always good to check. There you see the severe thunderstorm warning for Butler and Colfax County remains in effect until 10:15, so another 30 minutes. Not sure where this camera is. Okay. So we're working on getting another camera up here, so stand by. Now this is not in the severe thunderstorm warning, but if the trek of this continues, this camera that I'm about to put up could be next in line. If it's going to cooperate with us, we're about to find out. There we go. Okay, so you were looking live at Highway 30 near North Bend. This is west of North Bend at Center Street Junction, north of Rogers. And this is pointed down at the road, so not the best image if we're monitoring for severe weather, but it could be as it's well lit and this thunderstorm inches closer. Meantime, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now in effect. This does include the Norfolk area. There you see it. Let's go back to that now for just a moment. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for the Norfolk area. This severe thunderstorm warning, as you see on the bottom of your screen, is in effect for portions of Madison, Wayne, Pierce, and Stanton counties until 10:30 this evening. Severe thunderstorm was located near Hayter, or 3 miles north of Norfolk, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail are the primary threats. So let's take a look at that. First, let's take a look at the winds embedded in this storm. Not seeing a whole lot there, but this is much more distant from the radar, so can't rule anything out. And then as we switch over to hail, this is the first stronger indicator of hail that we've seen in the First Alert 6 viewing area tonight, reaching 1 inch in diameter. Now, like the winds, as we often say, that is 1 inch diameter hail being detected by the radar aloft, thousands of feet in the air. And so that likely isn't falling on the ground right now, but if we see this hail core continue to intensify, and we see this hail core continue to intensify, we could see larger reports. And then once that hail core looks like it weakens, it may not have actually weakened, it may have collapsed. And when it collapses, those bigger stones come down to the ground. So if you're in the greater Norfolk area, the Hoskins area, the Windside area, you need to know there is the potential for large damaging hail over the next half hour. So that is the latest severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Madison, Pierce, Stanton, and Wayne counties until 10:30 this evening. All right, let's go ahead and back out live First Alert radar here as we have a couple of areas of concern. That one just northeast of Norfolk, and then this one that we've been monitoring that doesn't look that impressive on radar, but appears to be packing some pretty gusty winds. And while we're waiting for that storm to approach our DOT camera, I'm going to see if we can get one up in the Norfolk area. So bear with me as we take a look at that. And we may not have a camera in that general vicinity, unfortunately. No, we do not have a camera in that area. We do have one near the Wayne area along Highway 35, but that is pretty distant, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see anything on that camera just yet. Seeing some lightning on that camera. I know I don't have it up right now, but it's just going to boil down to which camera are we going to see something on first, because we're monitoring two severe thunderstorm warnings quite a ways apart. This one does have a greater history of producing severe weather. If we switch back over to the velocity scan, you can see those stronger winds getting closer to the North Bend area. We'll have to see if the Weather Service extends this severe thunderstorm warning. We don't have an indication as of yet. Let me double check that. So we'll have to see what the Weather Service does with this warning as this storm is beginning to push out of the area here, or portions of it are pushing out of the warned area east of David City. So that will be the next question for the National Weather Service in Omaha. And then up here, we have more of a hail threat with this storm system. And there you see that hail core northeast of Norfolk. Still intensifying now, up to 1.3 inch diameter hail being detected aloft, and that is pushing towards Wayne. So we're going to keep a close eye on that one as well. I think we're going to go back down to our North Bend camera now. So let's go back to that, and we will move the radar back to that area as well. As we're bouncing between two areas of severe thunderstorms. So again, this does not look all that impressive here on radar, but it certainly looks impressive on the wind detection, as we're seeing some strong wind gusts. The primary area of concern now beginning to shift further to the south, but still could see some gusty winds in the North Bend area here over the next half hour or so. This is a camera just west of North Bend, north of Rogers. And looks like the strongest winds are going to now pass south of this area. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to get off this for just a second. We'll show you the big picture here. Whoops, excuse me. We'll show you the bigger picture here as these storms continue to push off to the east-northeast. While we see storms in north-central Nebraska moving almost due north now with the possibility of some strong gusty winds, already receiving dozens of wind reports an hour now, as the frequency of those wind reports have ramped up here. I'm going to see if we can find another camera in this area. I think that one is just a little too far to the east. So camera's not really where we want them to be right now. But that's why we also have the radar to rely on. As you can see there on your screen, we do still have that tornado watch that remains in effect until 3 o'clock this morning, or tomorrow morning, for the areas shaded in red. This does not include the Omaha metro area at this time. And it appears that our severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled. I believe this ran until 10:15, so I believe this has been canceled. And at least at this time, the Weather Service has not extended this warning. So now we just have the one warning here in our area. Let's go back up to the Norfolk area, and I will get that camera ready, as we may have a camera in the path of this severe thunderstorm. And we'll get this camera up here shortly.
We're out at 4716 North 38th Street, 641 and party 488.
Okay, so this is a live look from the Nebraska Department of Transportation camera along the intersection of highways 35 and 98 north of Windside. As you see, the camera does occasionally spin around on us here. There's nothing we can do that's out of our control. But you can see the lightning beginning to pick up. We were monitoring this camera earlier, not seeing anything on it. But as the storm is approaching, we're seeing that intense lightning as well. We'll go ahead and zoom in a little tighter on this. There you see where Windside is. So this is... This is where that camera is located. So the storm is approaching it as we speak. And right now, the main concern is with a fluctuating hail core. It looks like it's gotten a fair amount weaker. A little bit weaker now. But still capable of producing some large hail. And we'll have to see if that hail core does regenerate itself, which does happen quite often. But again, the white circle on the radar image that I'm drawing right now, that is the location of this camera you're looking at live from the Nebraska Department of Transportation. And so you see the intense lightning. I know we're pointed at the road, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because it may give us a better indication once this storm reaches this area if there is in fact hail reaching the ground. And so for right now, we're going to keep this image from the NDOT camera as the storm is approaching it as we speak. In the upper left portion of your screen, you can see we have gotten a couple of hail reports in the last hour or so. 139 wind reports so far today in Nebraska and Iowa. And the information scrolling to the right of that count shows you the storm reports that have come in over the last 3 hours across the state of Nebraska and Iowa. And we've lost our radar image again. It should come back here momentarily. See if we can go back to our velocity scans. Not getting any clear indication of any wind concerns right now with this storm. Right now, the primary concern appears to be hail, as we do have a somewhat persistent hail core that continues to hold right around 1 inch in diameter. It was stronger earlier. Sometimes that weakening suggests that some of the larger stones may have fallen to the ground. No confirmation of that at this time. But as you see that hail core passing awfully close to the Hoskins area, and okay, just got a report from the National Weather Service, trees down in David City from the severe storm that was rolling through that area. The cell has since weakened quite a bit, but may still have some 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts as it moves across Saunders County. So trees downed by severe wind gusts in David City. That was the storm we were showing you earlier on the NDOT camera. It appears that the Weather Service now has confirmation that there was damage from those winds. There was indication of 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts in that storm system. The Weather Service not providing any estimate on the winds in David City, but trees are down in David City. And so, unfortunately, there are some people, at least, that are going to have to be doing some cleanup in the hours and days ahead from this storm. Again, you're looking at a live picture at the intersection of highways 35 and 98 north of Windside. And we've got the hail detector on the right side of your screen, so you can see exactly where that hail core is moving, and it may pass very, very close, if not right on top of this camera. So that is why we are keeping a close watch of this particular area as the storm, and we keep losing our radar, my goodness. There you see that intense lightning, some strikes well ahead of the storm system. As we are beginning our 10 o'clock newscast now, we will continue our extended coverage here online as our First Alert 6 news at 10 is just getting underway. We will try and send you over to Chief Meteorologist Matt Serwe once he delivers his report here in just a moment. But for right now, we're going to keep an eye on this camera and continue to monitor this. But in just a moment, we're going to send you over to First Alert 6 Chief Meteorologist Matt Serwe.
That's in effect north and west of the Omaha Metro until 3 a.m. But I'll tell you, this line of storms is going to be moving through by midnight. So it would be an early night, even for places that are dealing with the storms right now. One severe thunderstorm warning just out of our viewing area, moving toward Wayne. But there's some thunderstorms heading towards Scribner, moving toward North Bend with heavy rain, and then north of I-80 in Seward County. But what you can see here, and I want to draw it on here really quick, do you see this line out ahead of the storms? Those are cool outflow winds ahead of the main heavy rain and the gusty winds. So what I think we're seeing now is cold air getting out ahead of that and kind of weakening the storms as they move into Omaha. But I would anticipate that we would at least get a couple good claps of thunder, maybe a little bit of heavy rain in the metro between now and about 11:30. And then maybe an isolated thunderstorm tomorrow morning. Then the rest of the day is just hot. Very humid through about 3 o'clock with high temperatures in the mid-90s. Feels like temperatures around 100. But coming up, we have another First Alert weather day on Thursday. I'll talk about that round of storms coming up. Brian and Aaron.
All right, Matt, thank you. That's the latest from Chief Meteorologist Matt Serwe on the situation tonight. He was talking about that cold air kind of pulling out of these storms, and that does make sense because as we saw the stronger wind gusts in the David City area that did knock down trees, as we were looking at that on the DOT camera, it indicated the winds were moving out in front of the storm. We call those outflow winds. Moving away from the center of the storm. And so generally that's what happens as a storm is beginning to weaken, and that's exactly what happened because those storms now are no longer considered severe. Right now, again, we're monitoring this storm approaching the NDOT camera at the intersection of highways 35 and 98 in, I believe this is in Wayne County, but please don't hurt me if I'm incorrect on that. But this is just north of Windside. Where this camera is located, right in the path of this hail core that we've been keeping an eye on. Let's go ahead and switch back to the hail detection. And that hail core has weakened considerably. That is good news. But we're going to go ahead and keep an eye on this live picture. National Weather Service getting a handful of 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts along the Platte River Valley from Columbus over towards North Bend. Everything is below severe limits so far, but plenty gusty. Now, those gusty winds may cross through the metro area tonight, but again, right now, those are non-severe winds. Shouldn't cause any major problems, but could still see some rumbles of thunder and some showers and thunderstorms in the area tonight. There you see the storm continues as the rain is beginning to pick up there on the camera. We're going to go ahead and keep an eye on this. It appears that hail core has weakened, so we may not see any hail on the camera as this core of this is going to pass awfully close to this camera. So we'll go ahead and leave this image up on the screen here as we're monitoring this. Katie over on Facebook asking how fast is it's moving. Katie, we have seen these storms kind of slow down to around 30 to 35 miles per hour this evening as they are no longer able to keep up with the the outflow winds that are now pushing out ahead of it. So now the strongest wind gusts in many of these areas. Well, and there you see now we have had an upgrade to this severe thunderstorm warning. Let's get that information here for you, as you just saw on the bottom of your screen. And no, that is not an upgrade. Excuse me. That is not an upgrade. So this is just a general severe thunderstorm warning, as now we see a new hail core beginning to take shape further to the south, and the Weather Service may have to deal with this one. Let's see what we're getting. Yeah, there's certainly some indications of some severe hail in there. This is further to the south and west of where this camera is located. This is down between Norfolk and Hoskins, where we have this new hail core that has taken shape on the southern edge of the current warning. And to give you an idea of what a pain these can sometimes be, this is just the last hour, and you can see there's our hail core. Or am I'm on the wrong scan. I apologize. That is not a new hail core. That is the hail core right there. I was on the tracker. So this is the one hail core we have right now, and it has weakened considerably and thus far has not shown any signs of re-strengthening as it's approaching this camera at the intersection of highways 35 and 98. So that is good news. Certainly some lightning, some downpours, and some gusty winds. But for the moment, no indication of any large hail in the immediately threatening this area. So let's go ahead and back out now, as this is I believe, the last warning in effect for our area at this time. We do still have this strong thunderstorm, however, in the Scribner area. And not seeing any indication of significant hail, not seeing any indication of significant winds. Just a strong thunderstorm, probably packing plenty of lightning, as these storms generally do. And let's see if we can show this on the wider angle. Nope, I think it's going to look better here. So take a look at this loop here, and actually I'm going to go ahead and just rock it back and forth. And as I do that, you can see this is where the trees were downed in the David City area. And from that point on, as this storm weakened, and Matt alluded to this in his hit a short time ago, there you see this outflow. And that is that surge of winds that's now getting out ahead of the storms and popping up some new thunderstorms as it's pushing off to the east. This is moving out ahead of the storms as they're beginning to lose their steam. And so that is why you're seeing them weaken so considerably. And so those warnings have not been extended. Now back to a live image, and you can see it developing these new cells as it's approaching the Wahoo area. But again, nothing remotely reaching severe limits, as the storms can't keep up with that outflow, and that outflow generally moving at about 40 miles per hour. So nothing that should cause any significant severe weather threats. So the only warning in our area right now is for Pierce and Wayne counties until 10:30 this evening, and that storm also appears to be weakening as it's approaching that NDOT camera you see on the left side of your screen at the intersection of highways 35 and 98. But nevertheless, severe thunderstorm warning does remain in effect until 10:30 this evening. Again, I want to thank everyone that's been joining us on our 24/7 Weather channel on Roku, as well as our website. And also want to thank everybody who's been joining us on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok. This is extended coverage that we can't provide you on television, but we know that when there are thunderstorms in your area, you like to know what's going on. And the good news is right now, the overall severe threat appears to be at the moment subsiding. We would like to see that trend continue. But at the moment, we do still remain under a tornado watch. We have this severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Pierce and Wayne counties until 10:30 this evening. And then we have, as we zoom out here, this this tornado watch that remains in effect for areas west and north of Omaha and Lincoln until 3 o'clock in the morning. We'll have to see what the Weather Service does with that, as these storms are beginning to push through the area already and continue to weaken. We have seen watches further to the west expire that were in effect for areas west of York. Those watches have been allowed to expire or have been canceled early. And so right now we just have the one warning in effect until 10:30 this evening. There is the watch that for now remains in effect until 3 o'clock in the morning. And then we're also monitoring the potential for additional strong to severe thunderstorms tomorrow that could impact the First Alert 6 viewing area, again, especially late tomorrow. All right, let's go back now live to First Alert radar. Again, this is the only warning in effect for our area, well up to the northern part of the First Alert 6 viewing area, northeast of Norfolk. We had a pretty significant hail core on this one, but that has now eased off considerably. In fact, it is essentially non-existent. So the next question now is, what kind of winds are we seeing in this storm? And right now, not really detecting anything of immediate concern, some gusty winds, but well below severe limits in all areas of this storm. And so unless the Weather Service is hearing about something on the ground, it appears the primary threats are beginning to weaken considerably with this last warned storm. Or I should say, we hope it's the last warned storm, as it continues to push off to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. Again, you're looking at a live picture from the NDOT camera at the intersection of highways 35 and 98 north of Windside, which is in the path of this severe thunderstorm warned storm, but getting no indications of any ongoing severe weather with it, at least according to radar, and no reports of any severe weather occurring on the ground. The last report we received before another cell weakened was David City reported trees were down by strong wind gusts there this evening. We continue to stand by for any updates from the National Weather Service on what they're going to do with this warning. This is the only warning in effect right now. We're going to take a quick break here, and we will be back with you in just a moment.
We have 2 more First Alert 6 weather days coming up. Tomorrow, another very hot and humid day, and then storms are in the forecast on Thursday. It'll feel like about 100 degrees for a few hours tomorrow afternoon. Back-to-back days with intense heat and humidity wear down your body just a little bit more. It gets briefly less humid by tomorrow evening, and then severe storms are back Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon actually looking pretty nice. Right now, we do have storms just off to our west. None of these severe. Right now, the strongest storm just about over Valparaiso, almost Ceresco, Highway 77 in southern Saunders County. It might have some pea-sized hail, but even the lightning starting to fizzle out. This line of storms was pushing off to the east at about 40 miles an hour. So if you're in the Omaha metro, yes, you might hear some claps of thunder. You might get some heavy rain, maybe some brief gusty winds, but the severe weather potential in Omaha quite low. And those storms will be rolling through within the next hour or so. I think all of these storms will be out of our viewing area by about midnight. The red that you see is still a tornado watch that goes until 3 a.m. That'll probably be canceled a little bit early. And in this entire watch, I have yet to see one tornado warning issued. Lots of storms with wind damage reports, even through David City. Lots of trees down in David City at the moment. Lots of hail reports, but no tornado reports across Nebraska tonight. Tomorrow morning, we still could have a couple of isolated thunderstorms, but then lots of sun in the afternoon. And look at those temperatures, low to mid 90s. The feels like temperatures at 3 o'clock tomorrow, right around 100 degrees up and down the Missouri River Valley, feeling like over 100 in parts of western Iowa. Look at the dew point tomorrow. It's steamy. It's uncomfortable through the first half of the day, and then shoo, right down after 4 o'clock. It's going to feel comfortable by the evening. It's still going to be quite hot. Temperatures even by 5, 6 o'clock will be in the low 90s, so don't think it's going to feel nice and refreshing. One thing that might help is the wind. Gusty south winds tomorrow up to 25 miles an hour in the morning, could be gusting up to 30 miles an hour out of the west, bringing in that drier air through the afternoon. So there are the thunderstorms pushing off to our north and west tonight. Tomorrow morning, isolated thunder showers, maybe a couple downpours during your morning drive. And then there's the break Wednesday afternoon, quiet Wednesday evening, and then overnight, look at the storms develop, and we could be talking about storms that have severe weather potential and a lot of heavy rain in the morning. So tomorrow's First Alert 6 weather day for the heat. Thursday's First Alert 6 weather day. A few severe storms possible before 9 a.m. And these storms on Thursday could have large hail, damaging winds, and maybe about 2 inches of rain in the heaviest storms. Thursday afternoon, Friday, awesome. Beautiful weather for the first day of the College World Series. Saturday, though, severe weather potential is back. Scattered thunderstorms could be strong Saturday afternoon and in the evening, and lingering thunder showers are possible on Sunday. So first weekend storms, a College World Series tradition. But it will be cooler. Look at the temperatures dropping into the 70s for a few days heading into early next week. Make sure you download the First Alert 6 weather app. I've been giving you a first alert to the heat and the severe weather potential both today and Thursday for several days, and you can get the latest there. Brian and Aaron.
And good evening, Nick Weig here with you again as we are monitoring this new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued for portions of Saunders County until 11:15 this evening. 11:15. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning. This does include the Wahoo area and as well as the Colon area. And let's get this info on this new severe thunderstorm warning. This one, see what they're talking about here. Weather Service says this storm has rapidly intensified. Severe thunderstorm was located 4 miles north of 4 miles north of Ceresco or 6 miles south of Wahoo, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. Right now, the primary threat is 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. The Weather Service says this has been intensifying rather quickly. Not really seeing anything of immediate concern on velocity other than the strong wind gusts we've been seeing over many areas tonight. Let's go ahead and switch over to the hail detector, and that is certainly what they're concerned about. This is a very quickly developing hail core. The hail cores have not lasted terribly long, but if you get caught underneath one, it doesn't really matter how strong it is, as that is going to cause some problems there. Going to see if we've got any cameras in that area. Again, there you see that hail core over the Saunders County area. We're going to see if we can make anything out in this storm. And that hail core certainly getting stronger now, so that is a little bit more concerning. 1.5 inch diameter hail now being detected by radar. So 1 inch diameter hail falling to the ground, certainly a possibility now. So we're going to keep it on this hail detector. Okay, we do have a camera very near this storm, so we're going to see if we can find anything here on radar or on camera here. Okay, let's see. It looks like we may have just lost the camera. And I think we've got it back. There we go. Okay, so this is a live look in Ceresco. And that is where this hail core is located. Zoom in pretty tight on this. No hail falling at the location of this camera, I can tell you that, obviously, but this is on Highway 77 in Ceresco. You can see this is likely just southeast of the hail core. I believe this camera is located, and I apologize if I'm getting this wrong, but I believe this camera is located right around here, just southeast of where radar is detecting that hail core. So we may not see any hail here on the camera. You can see the lightning, some rain falling as well, but these are not particularly strong storms on radar, not major hail producers, major rain producers, major wind producers. Over the last hour, the wind reports have subsided quite a bit. We were receiving over a dozen an hour earlier this evening. Now I don't believe we've seen more than a couple, and those are coming from north central Nebraska at this hour. But again, we're going to keep an eye on this camera as this warning has been issued. and there is a pretty intense indicator of some hail near where this camera is located, but we're not seeing any hail falling. Again, this hail core, according to radar, is just northwest of the site of this camera. You can see I've circled the camera there as that hail core just pushes off to the north of Ceresco, but if anyone's traveling on Highway 77 between Ceresco and Swedberg, I've got some terrible news for you. There is a very prominent hail core, and we've noticed these hail cores have not lasted terribly long tonight. And the bad news is that if that takes place when those hail cores collapse and those biggest storms fall, or excuse me, those biggest stones fall to the ground, that can be a problem for anybody caught in the path of them. But right now, this is the only warning in effect for our area. Severe thunderstorm warning for Saunders County until 11:15 this evening, so about another 42 minutes. And the primary threat, at least according to radar, appears to be the potential for hail upwards of 1 inch in diameter or larger. Hail reports have been few and far between today, with most of the reports, especially in central Nebraska, being some strong, damaging winds. We did have one of these storms earlier this evening produce tree damage, downing trees in David City. But right now, this is the only severe thunderstorm warning in our area for Saunders County until 11:15 this evening. All right, here's a wider view from live first alert radar. There you can see the severe thunderstorm right now moving to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So this could impact if it maintains intensity, and these storms largely have not this evening. Could impact areas just west of the metro area, including the Valley area, the Fremont area. Right, excuse me. Right now, the primary threat appears to be the potential for large hail. These are not especially strong storms, but now we're seeing once again a hail core popping up, and that is what has prompted this latest severe thunderstorm warning. So let's go ahead and zoom in on that area south of Wahoo. And there you see the area of concern right now. We're keeping an eye on the wind scans as well to ensure that there's no... There are some indications of maybe some stronger wind gusts up near the Wahoo area. So something to keep an eye out for there. But not really seeing anything of major concern. The primary concern right now is this hail core that is right over Highway 77 near Ceresco, and that's the live picture we have up for you right now. This camera should be just southeast of that hail core. It has largely maintained its intensity now for about 10 minutes. But if we do see some rapid weakening in that, which would not be surprising because that has been the pattern tonight, that could be an indication that it has dropped its heaviest hailstones. And unfortunately, if that happens right now, that's going to happen along that Highway 77 corridor. There you see the lightning continuing in Ceresco. I don't anticipate seeing any hail on the camera here, as it appears that this camera is south of that hail core, but this is the closest image we have to that area. As you can see, the vivid lightning continuing, as we just received a new scan, and that hail core is maintaining its intensity, still at 1.5 inches, right over the 77 corridor, approaching the intersection with Highway 63 in Saunders County. So we're going to go ahead and keep our eyes on this right now as So this is the main area of concern right now. Right now, that primary threat remains the potential for some large hail right over that Highway 77-63 corridor. But we are keeping our eye out on the wind gusts, but those are well out ahead of the storm now. And so those may be gusty, but shouldn't be too damaging, shouldn't be too much of a concern. But this hail core appears to be the primary threat right now, just passing north of Ceresco, south of Wahoo, moving off to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on this. I think we might try and see if we have any other cameras nearby. I don't believe we do. Still some pretty intense lightning on the camera here. I'm going to go ahead and take this camera off the screen, and we are going to see if we can find any others in the area at this time. Unfortunately, there's no other cameras in that area. Okay, we're going to see if we can get another angle of this, but there are no cameras in that area right now. The hail core appears to have weakened somewhat, unfortunately, right over those roadways, but it's still maintaining its intensity, which we haven't seen a lot of that so far this evening. So unfortunately, we don't have a good view of this from any of the DOT cameras, but it is, in at least in a wider sense, becoming a little bit more visible to us here in downtown Omaha, and that's simply because we have the benefit of height. I'm going to take you out live now to Blackstone Plaza here in Omaha. I can find my camera. I believe this is the one. And this is looking just to the south and west, and we're just seeing off in the distance some of that lightning that these storms are producing. Again, this is still quite a ways away from the metro. This is just atop the Blackstone Plaza, so we have a little bit of altitude here to view quite a distance to the west. And so we're just beginning to pick up some of that lightning off to the west in association with this storm. All right, let's go back now live to First Alert Radar. There you see the latest hail scan. They've pared back that severe thunderstorm warning. The hail core appears to have weakened ever so slightly. Hopefully that is a good sign. But let's see what the update from the National Weather Service is here. Still experiencing a lot of low-level wind shear, but so far the storms have not been able to take full advantage of it. Hopefully we can maintain that trend, says the National Weather Service. Did see a pretty good downburst signature near Ithaca. Believe we'll have some strong wind gusts ongoing for a bit, but they do anticipate the storm to continue to weaken as it pushes off to the northeast. So some good news there. That hail core right over the 77-63 corridor right now. But it is showing signs of weakening before it reaches anywhere near Fremont or Wahoo or the metro area at this time. Let's go ahead and put this back in motion. You can see a good chunk of that tornado watch now has been canceled as the storms have pushed off to the east and the threat has subsided. But if we go back to live First Alert Radar, and we're going to go ahead and zoom back in on our one severe thunderstorm warned cell. This was kind of what we've been dealing with all night. The storm just all of a sudden popped up, kind of ramped up a little bit. And even though it doesn't look that strong, this is where the Weather Service was noting that hail core beginning to take shape. And now as it's pushed off to the north and east, we're seeing that hail core maintain its intensity, albeit weakening somewhat as it's approaching the valley radar site. But right now, that severe thunderstorm warning does remain in effect until 11:15, so about another 31 minutes or so. That is the hail core of concern south of Wahoo right now, hopefully missing the community. 1.1 inch diameter hail detected. That's a little bit weaker than what we saw earlier, but still cause for concern as the storm continues to push off to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. The Weather Service still monitoring some potential for some downbursts as these storms kind of pulse up and down as they have all evening. And we've seen those wind gusts produce damage in our area, in the David City area. Some trees were downed. But right now, this appears to be the main concern is some very isolated gusty winds and then a potential for some large hail northeast of the 77-63 interchange and east of Wahoo, approaching the Highway 92 corridor. Now the storm is inching closer to the radar site near Valley. I'm going to take a look at a camera there and see what we can find. We'll go ahead and put that on the screen because we've got a pretty good look. See if we can get this to work. Okay, this is the Nebraska Department of Transportation camera in the Waterloo area. Specifically, this is Highway 275 over Highway 64. We're going to have to zoom in pretty tight to get a look at this. So you are looking at a camera, and I'm going to try and draw it on the map here as I zoom out so we can see the storm. And that camera is located right about here. And it is looking to the north and west, so not directly into the storm. The storm would be just to the left of the frame here, and unfortunately we can't move that. But you can see the lightning showing up here on that camera. So we're going to go ahead and continue to keep an eye on this as the severe thunderstorm warning continues until 11:15 as the storm approaches the valley, Utan, and Waterloo areas. Could see some shower and thunderstorm activity in Elkhorn as well. So really on the western edge of the metro area, this strong thunderstorm moving in. We do still have a warning on it, primarily for large hail, but right now we will keep you apprised if this changes. But right now, we're going to take a quick break. We'll leave the radar and the camera on the screen here and bring you updates as soon as we get them.
Live from WOWT, this is our First Alert 6 weather day.
And good evening, everyone. Nick Weig here with you again as we're monitoring the severe thunderstorm warning for Saunders County that remains in effect until 11:15 this evening. There you see that circle on your screen is where we've been monitoring a Nebraska Department of Transportation camera near Waterloo and keeping an eye on what it is seeing as it looks somewhat into the storm. It's actually looking to the north and west, so seeing kind of the leading edge of it on this camera. We've also been keeping an eye on our CityCam network here in the metro area. Now, this is still well west of the metro area, but we have been keeping an eye on these cameras just to see some of the lightning that they're seeing off in the distance. This is a live look from the Blackstone Plaza as we're looking off to the west. And seeing some of the lightning behind those lower clouds that are closer to the camera. I want to check out some of our other cameras. This is at 144th and Dodge. Bit of an obstructed view, but still seeing a lot of that intense lightning out there right now associated with that storm approaching the Valley and Waterloo areas right now. And see if we have any other images from some of our other cameras out there tonight. Don't have anything from 90th and Dodge. We'll see if we can move that around and see what's going on there, but we've been keeping an eye on some of these cameras just because we're getting some of the lightning flashes. This is obviously lights flashing on top of Children's, Nebraska, so not all of that is lightning, but some of those flashes off in the distance obviously are the lightning. So we have been keeping an eye on these cameras as well, but right now we're going to stick around with the camera in the Waterloo area at Highway 275. Where the rain has begun to fall, the lightning is picking up. This severe thunderstorm warning cell appeared to be primarily a hail threat. They were getting some downburst signatures as well. The hail core has weakened considerably, does not appear to be an immediate threat. Taking a look at the wind speeds, we are getting some pretty strong winds now being detected. This is very close to the radar site, and so these winds, 40, maybe up to 50 miles per hour, could actually be close to the surface as we are really close to the radar beam, not getting that high in the atmosphere, that close to the radar site. The National Weather Service at the radar site says they're just reported winds of around 40 miles per hour so far, and right now the official word is they do not plan to issue a new warning, and in fact they have just canceled that severe thunderstorm warning. That was in effect for about another 20 minutes. They have canceled that severe thunderstorm warning as the storm continues to push off to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. So no warnings are in effect for our area right now. We're going to continue to leave the radar up and monitor this storm. Again, if you're joining us in the metro area, no severe weather on its way to us right now, it appears, but we are monitoring these thunderstorms, and so far they are really hugging that severe limit line. So we'll keep this radar up here for a little bit longer, and then we will hopefully wrap up our coverage for the evening, as we may see some additional severe weather very, very early on Thursday morning that we'll be getting ready for. But for now, we'll leave the radar up for you for just a few minutes and monitor the storm as it passes near the Waterloo area. Hey everyone, Nick Weig here with you as we've been monitoring this storm for some time now. No warnings are in effect and not getting any indication that there's going to be any at this time. So some showers and thunderstorms will be impacting parts of the metro area over the next hour or so. But again, we do not expect any severe weather, maybe some wind gusts, maybe some small hail at best, but a lot of lightning and thunder. And as you can see on the live camera there from the Waterloo area, plenty of rain as well. So I think that's going to do it for us tonight. We're going to go ahead and refresh and recharge as we get ready for the potential of another round of severe weather very early on Thursday morning, Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Of course, with anything happening early in the morning, Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord will be here. We will be with you here as well if need be, and we will